Welcome to Storytime. We will enjoy the recap of the sumptuous feature film Queen and Slim, evoking a luminescent love story against a backdrop of a thrilling run for freedom. On a freezing winter evening, snug in a restaurant in Cleveland, Ohio, a lawyer named Queen has dinner with her Tinder date, Slim, chosen only because she didn't want to be alone with her sad thoughts that night. Slim is laid back and fully lives in the moment, while Queen is more preoccupied and cynical. She unfortunately reveals to him that one of his clients has been sentenced to death. She considers that even if the guilt of an individual is proven, it does not belong to the state to decide who has the right to live or die. Curious, Slim asks her why she chose him as a date. She replies that it's because she liked her photo. Her face had an expression that touched her. In the car on the way home, Slim tries to prolong the evening. The chemistry is obvious and both are already having fun like a fulfilled couple. In the relaxed atmosphere, a false movement alters his conduct. He swerves and attracts the attention of a policeman on patrol who chases them. Being a lawyer, Queen makes sure there is nothing wrong on board. Officer Reed immediately begins a highly suspicious check by being vindictive and threatening. Despite Slim's full cooperation and much to his surprise, the officer drags him out of the car for a body search. He begins to examine the chest, which prompts Queen to ask the reason for this relentlessness. Like a sniffer dog, Officer Reed becomes increasingly restless and sensitive. The control drags on, which pushes Slim to ask him to hurry up because he is relatively cold. This remark drives the policeman mad, who immediately points his gun at him. Aware of the offense, Queen comes out and threatens to record the incident with her cell phone. Reed shoots him without warning. Slim bravely protects her by tackling the enraged, uniformed aggressor. A fight breaks out between the two men under the eyes of Queen, injured and on the ground. Freeing himself from a chokehold, Slim grabs the gun and neutralizes the danger Reed poses. Both in shock, Queen pulls herself together and grabs the gun and tells Slim that they must, in self-defense, immediately leave the scene. In the grip of doubts, they flee, abandoning their mobile phones so as not to be located. Feeling lost, Slim panics and is disoriented. The stainless Queen then proposes to go to New Orleans to find refuge with her uncle. A lack of gas forces them to stop at the edge of the road. They are picked up hitchhiking by a van. The driver, who is called Edgar, offers to help them by dropping them off at the next service station. On the way, Slim notices that Edgar is a sheriff. Friendly, this one reassures him by telling him that he is off duty. Once at the gas station, Edgar receives a radio alert concerning the death of Officer Reed. The sheriff realizes that the wanted fugitives are sitting in his car. Vigilant and observant Queen quickly realizes they have been recognized. She says Slim quickly started the van to get away. Edgar arrives at the same time, which forces Queen to hold him at bay with the dead officer's weapon. Under threat, he complies and the three go back on the road. The sheriff hears their side of the story and knows that some cops are a threat to society. Despite their insistence on helping them, they lock him in the trunk. Queen does not trust him and knows full well that he will alert his colleagues. Inside the van, they find cash and stop to buy food. They ask a young boy to race with the money they found in the glove compartment. After eating, the boy comes back distraught with a video of the incident, which has now gone viral on the internet. This clearly shows them in full self-defense. Slim panics and rushes off, almost accidentally running over the boy's father. He hurts his knee, and to hold them back, the young boy reminds them that he helped them. In return, they take them to the hospital. The father congratulates Queen and Slim for their courageous gesture. He considers it a revenge murder because Officer Reed is a serial killer who killed an unarmed black man years earlier. Once at the hospital, the father wishes them good luck by chanting, "Power to the people." Driving until dawn, they stop again to refuel. Slim calls for a full tank of fuel and clumsily attempts to threaten with the gun he is holding. The employee, who is accustomed to seeing robbers, sees that Slim is not a cold-blooded killer. He agrees on the condition that Slim lets him hold the gun that fascinates him. He bluffs by pointing the gun at him, but then hands it back and pays for the gas. Slim realizes they are front-page news, so the cashier knows who they are. After a long road, our two souls that fate has tragically linked arrive in New Orleans. Queen is received by an extravagant young woman and asks to be able to speak with her Uncle Earl. He is a pimp who lives with some of his daughters, which annoys the committed lawyer that is Queen. While offering them hospitality, he expresses his concern that having two individuals on the loose under his roof is risky for the kind of business he has. Queen asks Earl to help them by providing them with a vehicle and cash. His reluctance to push her reminded him that he owes her a debt. This remark touches him deeply, pushing him to offer them all that his means allow. Earl tells them that they must radically change their appearance and under the expert fingers of his daughters shave their heads to avoid being identified. While being treated, Queen is surprised by the love and solidarity shown to her by her women. The night is shaken by yet another dispute between Earl and one of his daughters. Taking advantage of this saving rest, Queen and Slim reassure themselves, get closer and plan to leave the next morning. Slim asks Queen what is the nature of the debt owed by his uncle. She confesses heartbroken that she helped him avoid prison for killing someone, his own mother. Moments later, the police show up at Earl's door to ask questions. Having spotted the van of the two fugitives, the officer asks to search the premises. Earl categorically refuses and orders him to come back with a warrant. In the process, he warns the duo and tells them that they must leave without delay. In the rush, they take things and hurry to burn the van. Earl gives them money and especially the address of a certain Johnny Shepherd who will help them cross the ocean to go to Cuba. The farewells are warm and the empathy is total. On the run at the wheel of a new car, they see detainees in forced labor in the neighboring fields. Slim drives while Queen takes a nap in the back seat. Later, she is surprised to see that he stops in front of a nightclub. Cruzy asks Queen if she would go out with him again. At first she is undecided, changes her mind and asks what a second date would have had in store for her. Slim admits to her that to dance with her, he is ready to take all the risks. Inside, an exaltation of the bodies animates the young couple. Much to Slim's surprise, the bartender gives them free drinks and reassures him that they are safe. Like all the people present that evening, she recognized them. Despite Queen's legitimate fears, Southern blues will have them vibrating all night long. She will confess to him that she wants a man who will reveal her, help her overcome the wounds of life and will love her forever. He will reveal to her that he wants someone who will hold his hand for life and keep him in his heart forever. United in adversity before God as witnesses, the adventure continues with the admiring support of their respective communities. Queen's attention falls on calming horses in a paddock. She remembers her uncle telling her that white people panic at the sight of a black man on horseback. Why Slim? She replies that they are scared at the idea of having to raise their heads to address him. This first experience will be cut short by the threatening howls of the owner who surprised them. As they continue on their way, the couple's car breaks down. They push her to the only garage in the area. There is urgency which forces them to pay a supplement to be able to recover it the same day. While going to the bathroom, Slim sees a telephone in the mechanic's office and makes the monumental mistake of calling his father. Slim's father suddenly hangs up the phone and it turns out the call was traced and tapped by detectives. At the garage, the mechanic, who also recognized them, lets them know that he doesn't support Reed's murder like the others in the area. In order to be able to finish the repairs in peace, he offers them to go for a little discreet walk with his son Junior. The young teenager is in awe and inspired by the courage they had in the face of the criminal racism of the late Officer Reed. After recovering their vehicle, Slim is inspired by Junior's words and asks him to immortalize their couple by taking a photograph. Before heading to their next destination, Slim notices that Queen is upset. She suddenly decides to make a detour to stop at the cemetery and visit her mother's grave. She explains to Slim that they were very close during his youth. His studies will have caused a break in their relationship. Slim holds Queen close as she gets emotional, which leads to them kissing. They park in an isolated place and passion invades their bodies, burning with desire. Meanwhile, a rally of support takes place with the slogan, "Legitimate Defense." Junior is energized and is approached by a black SWAT officer who kindly tells him to go home. The teenager then points a firearm at the officer, who tries despite everything to sound it. In the midst of this effervescent uproar, the shot accidentally goes off and kills the officer instantly. During this burning moment, Queen and Slim are united in their flesh and embrace each other warmly with a deep love. The epic continues and the young couple go to a friendly white couple called the Shepherds. A racist neighbor unfortunately saw them. The conversation becomes overwhelming when, to their surprise, Junior's death is revealed to them. Despite the reluctance of his wife, at the moment of dinner Mr. Shepherd sends them the coordinates for a plane waiting for them in Florida. Queen says grace, although she had earlier told Slim that she was an atheist. She expresses her gratitude for the time she spent with him, no matter how it ends. Suddenly Mr. Shepherd hears a noise and tells them to go hide under the bed in the upstairs bedroom. Things are messed up when a SWAT team shows up. He arrives upstairs and goes to turn the bed over to check. Luckily Queen and Slim hid in a crawl space under the bed in the bedroom. Despite the pressure from the agents, the Shepherds will not denounce them. The two heroes will remain hidden until morning. In order to escape, they jump out the window and Queen accidentally dislocates her shoulder. They're looking for a spare car in the Shepherd's garage. As Slim puts Queen's shoulder back in place, an officer stationed outside the house hears the painful moans coming from the garage. Inspecting the scene, he hears Slim trying to start the car. He opens the garage door and surprises them, but he lets them go with a sympathetic shake of his head, closing it carefully behind them. Our two heroes will leave quietly, avoiding the adjoining police roadblock. The couple now drives to the edge of the ocean where they take turns enjoying the view while sitting at the car window. At night, they wait at the meeting point scheduled for the plane. Early in the morning they are suddenly awakened by a man who mysteriously seeks to make them patient. Under the eagerness of Slim, he drives them in stride at home to contact a friend with a plane which must make them fly towards freedom. He leads them onto the tarmac and immediately spins off. As the two innocent fugitives walk towards the plane, a whole team of policemen takes them from behind. Out of time, the two heroes concentrate on each other, ignoring the police orders. Queen asks Slim if she can be his legacy and he replies that she already is. An overzealous and racist cop then shoots Queen for no reason, hitting her in the chest and killing her instantly. As if a part of him died with her, Slim holds her and carries her as he walks towards them. The cops will kill him cowardly too. The news of the tragic end of the manhunt reverberated everywhere. The couple's names are revealed to be Angela Johnson and Ernest Hines. Steeped in lies, the cops will falsify the story to give the impression that they were armed and dangerous. Earl, the Shepherds, Ernest's father, and everyone they've met on their journey are devastated by the sad news. Disgusting, the one who was supposed to lead them to freedom sits in front of his television counting the money his disgusting betrayal will have earned him. Hundreds of civilians touched by their tragedy attend their funeral and consider them martyrs and heroes. The black community will not forget them and will put up a commemorative image based on the photo taken by Junior. Thank you for sharing this moving and inspiring story with us. See you soon on Storytime.